Good morning, everyone. Leah Dixon here from Port Coquitlam, British Columbia. I am live this Wednesday morning, like I am pretty much every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Today I'm just doing a quick card for you, and it's kind of a really fun one though because it's using the same stamp set, the Country Flowers, that I'm using for an upcoming stamp camp. So you do have until later in May to register for this class, but the dies are actually on low inventory right now. So if you kind of were interested in this, now's the time to order this because it is potentially going to sell out. So I'm going to switch over to my desktop, show you this awesome bundle, and get started creating. Here we go. So this is our stamp set, the Country Flowers. And so I love it because it's got two sets of flowers as well as just some greenery. And then a few things to put your flowers into, a little stool to put your flowers or flower teapot onto. And it's not shown in here, but in our dies, you can also just create the teapot, and there's a little teapot lid that goes with it. There's dies to cut out all the images, as well as dies to cut out additional greenery and flowers, and a little die to cut out a bucket that there's no stamp to go with, but it's a cute little bucket to put your flowers in as well. So really lots and lots that you can do with this die set and stamp set combo. And then the sentiments are really nice, with heartfelt sympathy, sending love, so lucky to know you, and best friend ever, which I've used that one on quite a few of my cards. So that is the bundle that I'm going to be using today. I'm actually using a sketch. I'm part of a group right now called A Card a Day in May. And the other day we had this fun little sketch design. So I'm going to use this sketch to create a card. I'm also using the Country Lace designer series paper. So I'll just quickly show you that. It's absolutely gorgeous. You get 2 sheets of each. So you get this awesome denim with some beautiful like eyelet lace in petal pink. We've also got the gray eyelet lace. Just some nice stripes. This is a great, oh, that's not showing very well. Let's see. Maybe that's a bit better. It's a great DSP because it's actually got some really masculine sides to it. Then just the regular little dots, and then some beautiful, more denim-y colors, some more eyelets, a great gray stripe, some more eyelet lace, but in that denim. Just a really nice, like twill fabric kind of look. Some more of the eyelet lace, and then just a nice gray twill. So the papers have kind of a feminine side and a masculine side to them, and just really nice neutral colors. I am such a sucker for anything denim. If you know me in person, you'll know that probably 364 days of the year I wear jeans or jean skirts or jean shorts. I am absolutely like a huge fan of denim. So I, of course, had to make the background of my card for this one with the denim. We can actually go ahead and glue that layer straight down. So I'm going to use liquid glue because that is my go-to adhesive, but when you're making your own card here, you can use whatever adhesive you'd like. So I'm going to use my liquid glue to attach that denim just to a thick, basic white card base. So there we go. And then, because I'm using a sketch, I am just going to start putting down some pieces. It's 3 pieces of DSP that kind of all go together to make a great little card front. I've chosen 2 of the petal pink I wanted to call them petal peach, petal pink DSPs. So one with the nice big eyelet on it and one with the smaller eyelet on it. And so you're kind of overlapping them and putting one up at the top and then keeping the same border down at the bottom. So I've just overlapped those two. And then I have a square of the gray eyelet, and I'm just going to pop that on again with the same border over on the side. Now, I didn't just cut a square. I actually did use my stylish shape dies to cut this one. I used the second largest square, only because then it gives that gorgeous like stitching along the edge that I think just creates like a nice finished look. All right, so we've kind of created a base to put all of our stuff on. And now we get to actually do some designing. There's going to be a circle that goes on there, and just kind of like that, cover up all those layers and kind of pull it all together. And so we need to create the focal point that's going to go onto this card. So I'm going to set this all off to the side and bring in a piece of basic white, and we're going to do some stamping. So I'm using basic gray ink to do my stamping. I don't want the images to be outlined in black. It makes it a little bit harsh. So I'm grabbing my large flowers and stamping them on one side of my paper. And then I've got the little pail here with the handle. I'm going to stamp on the other side. And then I love this. They have the little flower market like kind of logo that would be on one of these buckets. So I just think that's so much fun to add that little detail to the bucket. And now we can do, oh, I don't like that glare. I'm going to put that ink away entirely. Now we're going to do some coloring. So I've chosen colors that go with the DSPs in the Country Lace Designer Series paper. These happen to be also fairly similar to the colors of the Country Woods Designer Series paper that we're actually using in the stamp kit. I'll actually just bring that paper in and show you. So it's a very similar color pattern. However, it's all wood grains. So we've got the Misty Moonlight. We've got some fun multicolored wood grain, some petal pink, like it looks like the paint is peeling off the paper, off the wood. Some darker browns, the Pool Party, again with that chipped paint look on it. Just some natural wood tones. There's that Misty Moonlight one again, multicolored one. Then we've got, this is kind of more of a basic beige with a little bit of bluish gray in there. Some really dark wood, some more dark wood that kind of has some fading on it, some worn spots, the white wood with the paint chipping off. Oops, and then I think we're getting into, oh, here we go. Now there's one more. We've got this nice, more bluish tone, like bluish gray, and then bluish gray with some of the yellow showing through and like the pine knots and stuff. So really, really beautiful Country Woods paper. That's actually the DSP that we're featuring in the stamp camp that I'm doing. Today's card, I'm using that eyelet paper though. So the only color that I kind of added into the mix is I grabbed light moody mauve. I just thought it was like a nice little pop of color to go along with these. Now I'm going to use it just on the smaller flowers. I don't want it kind of overtaking my card. So I'm going to start with my light moody mauve, and I'm coloring all the little flowers in here. Yeah, I do really like this flower bundle because you can actually use your fine tip to color most of this. You don't have to use a paintbrush tip like I am, because these flowers are all so little. They're just quick and easy to color. All right, so I think that's all the little ones. And then I'm just going to use my dark Moody Mauve to go in and add just a few little details to those flowers. And so just a little bit. There we go. And because they're blends, they just blend right in, like it all just smooths itself out. I'll do a close-up and show you a close-up of this once I'm done coloring. So now I'm using dark petal pink just to do the two centers of our flowers. And I'm also going to color this larger flower. Actually, I should do my light first. I'm going to use light petal pink to do. I can't actually decide if this is a flower or if this is just a whole bunch of leaves and greenery. But for this card, I have decided to color it as though it's some big bloom flower. So I color the whole thing in light petal pink. And then I'm going to go back through with my dark petal pink and just add in some highlight spots. I might have to go a few times with the petal pink because it is such a light color. But we'll give it some time and see what happens here. So I'll come back to that if I need to add more color to it. Now I wanted my blooms, the big blooms on this flower, to really pop. So I'm using boho blue to color these guys in. And so like on the other flowers, I'm starting with my light. It is a larger flower, so I am going to use my paintbrush tip for sure. If you're not comfortable with the paintbrush tip though, feel free to use the smaller nib and it'll still color beautifully. There we go. And then I'll come back in with darker boho blue just to add some details here. All right, so this boho blue is very much like the denim, probably why I love it so much. All right, and then I'm going to use the fine tip for my dark boho blue. So I'm going to go around that little circle, and then I am going to add a little bit more to this. I don't want the flower to get too dark though, so I'm not going to add much more than that. And on this one, I'm just going to do that center circle and the V's on the outer petals. There we go. And then finally for these flower blooms, I am going to use my light Pool Party and color in the leaves in Pool Party. And so again, I'm starting with my light and then I'm going to go back over with my dark to add some details. All right. Such a pretty color. I think Pool Party's got to be one of my favorite colors, and definitely one of my most used blends. All right, so there we go, just about done. And then I am going to go back in with my dark petal pink one more time and just add a bit more. There we go. All right, so there we have our blooms all colored. So I'll just show you that nice and close. So really nice color combo there. And that's going to all kind of blend a little bit more as it dries. Now we've got our bucket to color. And I actually am going to color this almost in like straight lines. I am starting with my light smoky slate. And I'm starting along the edges and kind of doing a brush stroke in. What that's going to do is give me kind of like a not straight kind of line. And then I'm going to go the other way. And if they overlap, that's fine, but I am kind of trying to make sure that they just slightly don't connect, actually. So it leaves like a little white spot throughout the center. All right, now I'm going to go over the whole card in a straight line from side to side. And so you're going to see that that's darkening my gray, but where I only have the one layer, it is staying slightly lighter, which is giving me kind of that rounded look to my container. All right, and then we can just go along the edges, doing a slightly smaller line, and just darken up those edges again. So I'm going a little less in than I did the first time. And there we go. And then I'm going to grab my dark smoky slate and just go over the little line across the top and along the bottom. So I did just some lines in, and then I'm going to do 2 straight lines all the way across. And then just a little bit of darkness. There we go. So if you take a look at that, now we've got kind of that different lighting going on our bucket, and it looks just a little bit rounded instead of a flat image. So that's our coloring done. We now get to cut these out. So I'm going to grab my mini machine here. There we go. Got my plates. And each of these images has a die to cut it out. If I can see where, oh, there it is. I moved the dies out of the screen, so then I couldn't find them. So we've got that, and we have our image for our flowers as well. All right. So here we go. Get that lined up, get that one lined up. I love this one because it cuts out the space inside the handle of our little bucket. Oops. Now, sometimes these do want to bounce around, so you can grab a piece of washi tape or some kind of like low tack tape and hold them in place if you want. And there we go. Roll those through. Right. So there we go. Pop those off. Put that away. All right. So with our flowers and our bucket created, now we have to attach them together, so you can kind of look around and decide what way you think this kind of works best on the bucket. So I'm going to pop mine on just like that, and then I'm flipping it over, and I'm going to use dimensionals to hold the two together. And then I'm just going to put, I probably didn't need 2 down there. I could have gotten away with 1. And then 1 up at the top. And I'm actually going to do 1 right there. So I just put probably too many dimensionals on the back of my flower vase here. And now before I actually stick it down, I'm going to put it on top of my circle, and I'm just going to make sure I leave myself enough space to stamp my sentiment. So I am using the So Lucky to Know You, and I was going to do boho blue, but I actually think I should stick with the basic gray and keep it a little more neutral. So I'm putting this in as far over as I can without going onto the stitching, and there we have it. So Lucky to Know You. Now I can take the adhesive off the back of my flowers and attach them to this piece. So I'll do that. Peel all those. Awesome. And just pop that on like that. Now try to make sure that your bucket and your words are kind of, straight with each other. And then this piece we're going to attach to our card front, and I'm going to use dimensionals again to do that. There we go. And when I do that, so I want those words straight, and I want my circle, well, obviously on my card front, but I also want it covering up kind of where all these DSPs meet up with each other. Excellent. So now we've got our flower, or not our flower, our card almost completely put together. We're just going to add a little bit of bling to this now. And so I have chosen the Iridescent Pearls for this because I thought they'd pop really nicely on the denim. So I'm just going to do that. And they're just adding just a little touch of shininess to this. There we go, just like that. And I feel like that spot's maybe a little empty. I don't normally mix and match bling, but it almost feels like I should put like some blue bling there or something. What could we do instead? Let's see. I'm wondering if we could, there's like a little eyelet piece in here. I'm wondering if that would be too much to add that onto there. You know what? I think if we do a stamped off boho blue little piece of eyelet, that's going to work nicely. So let's grab our boho blue. And I'm just going to see what this will look like stamped off, because I really don't want it standing out. We might even have to go petal pink. Let's see. Yeah, because the boho blue looks a little, I don't know, it looks funny. Let's try petal pink ink and see if we can do that. It just looks like too white of a space on our card. All right. Let's put away our boho blue. Grab our petal pink. Let's see what that will look like. Oh yeah, that'll be soft enough. Excellent. So I'm actually going to do kind of like how I would with embellishments. I'm going to do a little grouping of 3. And that just takes away the whiteness on our card without really kind of interfering and taking away from the images and everything that are on there. So there we go. That's our finished card using the country flowers. So if you love these colors, these stamps and everything, I do have a stamp camp. The link is in the description of this video. We're using the Country Woods DSP instead of the Eyelet DSP, but the same kind of color pattern. And the other 4 designers are designers who I've worked with in the past. They're all super talented, and the cards we have created for you are just unreal. You will not regret joining us for this stamp camp. So you can see all the details in that link, or give me a shout and ask me anything you'd like. So thanks again for joining me this Wednesday morning. I will be back next Wednesday morning with another card, or possibly my paper pumpkin. We'll see if it arrives by next Wednesday. And yeah, so that might be what's in the works for next week. But I'll for sure be live next Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. So I hope you can join me. Bye.